of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Father, Father, we don't need to escalate. Oh, it's not the answer, for only love can conquer. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving. Oh, yeah, take it light, take it sight. Punish me with brutality. Talk to me, honey, so you can see what's going on. What's going on? Hey, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. Woo! Come on, man.
Aladdin, what up?
Woo!
Ron, what's good, man? Thanks for joining. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening.
Everybody thinks we're wrong. They do. Mama, who are they to judge us? Simply don't.
Hey, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight.
You know we've got to find a way to bring some understanding here today. Take it light, take it sight. People don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, so you can see what's going on. What's going on? Yeah, what's going on?
Welcome to the Moment of Truth.
What's going on?
Tonight we got a special guest, Aladdin the Prince, TV, radio personality. It's gonna be a great conversation, y'all. Alright, Aladdin, I see you there, brother. Alright, y'all, so welcome to the Moment of Truth, Community Connoisseurs Instagram Live podcast. This podcast is brought to you every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. This podcast is a platform where we just, highlight all of the great accomplishments of individuals doing great work in their respective areas, give them their flowers while they're here, and it's also a platform to inspire. So thank you for everybody who's tapped in thus far. Do me a favor, if you have a friend that's interested in hearing a really inspiring conversation, hit that arrow at the bottom right hand side of your screen and invite about 10 of your friends. So tonight we got a special guest, a great brother, Aladdin the Prince. He's been doing so much great work, so I'm going to read his bio and then we're going to hop right into it. So Aladdin, Prince of the Airways, a native Washingtonian on-air personality, earned his BA in broadcast journalism from Bowie State University in 2007 and then went straight to work. Initially, he flipped an internship at WPGC 95.5 in DC into a board op position, but over the years, Aladdin became the producer for WPGC programs, the home team with DJ Flex, Love Talking Slow Jams, national recording artist The Little Mo Show, Big Tigger Show, and the legendary Donnie Simpson Morning Show. Aladdin became the voice of Orlando as he was heard nights on Power 95.3. Since his return back to the DMV, Aladdin can now be heard on Radio 1's 93.9 WKYS and as co-host on the podcast Adverse Reaction. He has been featured on Sirius XM as co-host of Shade 45 Big Sundays in music videos. Where they do that at? Loyalty, and has hosted DC's annual go-to warm weather event, the Summer Sprint Spirit Festival, the Sprite Step Off competition, and countless other events. Aladdin's shining accolades rest on his foundation of community support and giving back. Aladdin regularly speaks to kids around the nation about the importance of protection and prevention and following their dreams. So without further ado, I'm going to tap my brother Aladdin in, and we're going to get to it. Aladdin, what's up, brother?
Hola, what up, though?
What's happening, man?
Man, I
What's up,
can't
Mike?
call it,
Welcome,
man.
man.
You said what?
No, I was shouting out somebody just
Oh,
joined us.
Mike.
Yeah. What's good, man?
Man, everything's amazing, man. You know,
That's
just
great, man.
staying blessed, staying COVID free.
Absolutely, man. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, man. So first, on behalf of Community Connoisseurs, we want to thank you for taking time out of your evening, man, just to join
Oh,
our
come
platform.
on, man.
You know, we were at an event, and we were talking, man, and having a good conversation at the Urban Wellness Market with
Facts.
CWC that you were hosting. And we just chopped it up, man. You and my brother Vito, you, myself, and my brother Vito.
Yeah.
And, man, we made it happen, man. We told you about the platform. You was like, let's do it.
Hey, man, you know what's so crazy, too, Charlie? Because I was just thinking, I was like, damn, yo, me and Charlie go back. Like, back when you was promoting, you know what I'm saying?
man,
Try
the promo
corporate
life.
days.
Yeah,
You know
man,
what I'm saying?
definitely,
And I got to say, bro, like, ever since I met you, young, you've always been a stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying? And I've always
Appreciate that,
loved
brother.
your energy. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely
anything you've
appreciate
ever
that.
done, I've always put my support behind it. And, you know, we worked together. So, I mean, this was just like a no-brainer.
Likewise, brother. And same to you, man. Ever since, I've met you, man, we've done a lot of business endeavors, been in the same room a lot. And, man, just conversations with you. You have your platform. You've been doing a lot of work. You met so many people. You traveled doing the work you're doing. You've hosted some of the biggest events and things like that.
Sheesh.
But the thing that I've always honored the most about you is you always remain humble. You always remain approachable, and you're always the same every time that I have, we talk, and man, chop it up.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you for being you and always staying true to who you are.
Yes, sir.
All
Hey,
right,
man. This is the story, man. The story,
yes,
definitely, man. If you never forget where you came from, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like, it's no reason for you to switch up. So, you know,
Absolutely.
the story is we'll get into it, man. You'll understand why. You know,
absolutely. So, man, Aladdin, man. So, what we typically do on our platform when we begin, man, it's a lot of people on here that's tapping in, that support you. There's people that support our platform that's tapping in as well. But for those individuals who don't know who Aladdin the Prince is, tell the people a little bit about your background, your upbringing, where you come from.
Oh, all right. Well, might as well start from the beginning.
Let's go all the way back.
Let's go
way back.
And you know, it's wild because it actually starts from the day that I was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I am a native Washingtonian. I'm a first generation American. My father's from Trinidad. My mother's from Haiti.
Wow.
My father came here, was an educator. He taught at Howard University. So I was born at Howard. It's so crazy because the day before I was born, it was like 89 degrees in January, right? So the day I came out the womb, like it was like my mother went into labor, whatever the case may be. I literally it started snowing when my mother went into labor. So yeah, so the day I was born, I caused a big ass snowstorm to shut down DC.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I say it started, you know what I'm saying? Because like my goal is always to be like put on for the city and like shut the city down in a good way. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say it started from the day that I was born. But with that being said, born in DC, my father was an educator at taught at Howard. I grew up uptown DC. I grew up around 3rd and Decatur, aka 325.
Okay.
So 4th and Delafield. So growing up in the early 90s in DC was crazy, bro. Like it was the crack epidemic. It was the murder capital. you know, Delafield at the time was a hood area. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't sweet around there. So it was just a lot of things that you just street knowledge that you had to learn off
Absolutely.
Bucks. You know what I'm saying? In order to survive as a kid, as a young man.
Hmm.
The aura DC at that time was so different. You know, it was a time where, you know, damn, is that flipping in the background?
Got a couple technical going on.
Oh man, I was like, am I
I
tripping,
said, hey, look, I
man?
said, I'm interviewing a
Hey,
TV
young.
radio personality. I
Wow.
gotta
I was like, am I tripping? I'm sitting there hitting my screen. Like, am I seeing it? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah, that one made me kind of speechless right there. All right, so yeah, man, so growing up uptown, you know, and then I was the youngest. I was the baby out the group. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, yo, I can't even talk because I'm in these pictures like you young, this is amazing. So I was the baby, like I was the youngin, and then um so me looking the way that I did, you know what I'm saying? I look different than everybody else, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
Little brown skin, as you can see, little brown skin baby, curly
right.
hair, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, the joning and the jokes was you know what I'm
Crazy.
saying? Like,
Yeah,
oh, you already knew they went
yeah,
in on the boy. So I
yeah.
had to grow up with thick skin. So like, but
Right,
me being a baby, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like everybody around the hood like looked out for me. So, you know what I'm
right.
saying? I was like easily like always like between 5, 6 years younger than everybody else. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? So growing up at this time too, you know, my father was always trying to my father and my mother, like we when we moved around there, my father was just like real big on like trying to help, like his big thing, you know, if anybody know Caribbean families are real big on education. So everything's education, education, education.
Hmm.
So my father would try to, you know, would talk to the dudes around there, and you know what I'm saying, like our house was kind of like the open house to the hood. Like
Okay.
my father used to like to cook for everybody, like you know what I'm saying. It was just a lot of people going through a lot of different things. So we have a lot of people that was selling drugs, stuff like that. He would have them in the house, you know what I'm saying, trying to change their mindset.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? My father's like my father's mission like was kind of like to save the world. Like that just seemed like the type of
Beautiful.
man he was. You know what I'm saying? Like he would
Right,
give his last of everything
right.
for anybody. You know what I'm saying? So kind of seeing that. So my house was just kind of known as like, I ain't gonna say the safe haven, but like it was kind of like people like to come to my house, but they didn't because my father used to lecture. Like that's, you know what I'm saying,
Oh
that's what he
yeah.
did.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
my father was a genius, bro. Like I mean, out of this world, beyond smart. My father taught calculus.
Wow.
So
Okay.
he was a mathematician. My mother was a mathematician as well, right?
Hmm.
So growing up, it was just kind of like everybody knew our household. You know what I'm saying? They knew the Phillip household. So we was, you know what I'm saying, like I was little bruh to the hood, you know what I'm saying? So growing up, you know what I'm saying, beefs, and it was crazy around there. Like it was nights, young. You ain't go to sleep till you heard gunshots like every night. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of things going on around that time. So you know that was just kind of like the upbringing.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? That survival, you had, it was just a lot of things, a lot of unwritten rules that you had to learn. And you know what I'm saying,
right.
like the OGs at that time would try to keep us off the streets and you know different things. But you know we had our little group or whatever. Um, so I remember my you know, the whole how the 325 thing started. Uh, it was wild because I remember my man Reynard. It was my man Reynard, his little brother Randy, my man, we called him Junkie D. It was just like a bunch of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? At the time, it's when Jordan was bubbling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Won his third championship. So everybody number favorite number was 23. So I
Right.
remember, you know what I'm saying, everybody was like, they was trying to come up with a name for our little squad or whatever. So he was a 23 mob. You say, nah, it's 32 something. So he was trying to play with the
Yeah.
numbers
Yeah. Yeah.
3 and 2, right? So I
Hmm.
just remember like just me being a little youngin', I ain't I was just like math was the thing. So I was like, so I just said, I was like, well, you know, yeah, I know 3 + 2 = 5.
Right.
And everybody kind of like the light bulb went off in their head, and they was like, I don't know who stamped it or when they ran with it or whatever, but that's when they started, you know what I'm saying, calling that area 325 mob.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, so it was just a lot of chaos, a lot of things going on around the hood, you know what I'm saying? So like things was like I said, it was just real, a lot of people beefing with people, you know what I'm saying? Just it was just a lot going on. So so fast forward into that, so we, you know, eventually the apartment building that we owned on the top of the hill, whatever, we eventually sold that because this shit was just getting too crazy
So
around it.
your family owned their property in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so so
Yeah,
I
that's huge because actually in the
yeah,
neighborhood that I grew up in, which was the surroundings were impoverished, and there was a lot of people that had subsidies and things like that. But my father actually did the same thing your father did. He bought his property inside of that area, and that was
yeah,
huge, and it did something to my mind frame in regards to the difference between renting and owning. So I just
right,
wanted to
right.
touch on that really quick. That's
Yeah,
very
yeah. So I got a little taste of what it was like to be a landlord early. You know what I'm saying? It's
right,
just a lot of different things that, you know, gave me perspective outside of what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And I understood early too. Like it was like I was born with this gift of like vision.
right,
So I was able to see like, you know what I'm saying, it like the surrounding I saw a lot of the things like how the mentality of us early was we get stuck in the mindset of where I'm at now is the only thing. And mind you, this is before the internet, so it ain't you don't know no world outside of what you living in. You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
And so it was things like my man, like I said, my man Junkie J at the time, right? He was I think he was like 16, and this is one of the things that always stuck with me is that his mother was a crackhead,
mm,
so he was slinging crack at the time,
mm-hmm.
and that was the only way, you know what I'm saying, so the only way he can get money from his mother was he had to sell his mother crack, and
Mm.
he was taking care of his little brother.
Wow,
So I remember I came over one time and he was like trying to get some money from his mother, but he wasn't trying to serve her,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and it was like he was like, man, I remember he looked at me, he was like, young, you blessed, like understand, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, you got a family, like he was like, man, I gotta do what I gotta do to take care of my brother. The thing that I gotta serve my mother is the
mm-hmm.
same thing that's killing her.
Wow,
You get what I'm saying?
wow,
So yeah, so imagine the emotions. So I'm seeing a lot of emotional disparities, like a lot of, you know what I'm saying, um, just, you know what I'm saying, things that my friends going through at a young age, you know what I'm saying, he
yeah,
15, 16, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, raising his little brother
mm-hmm.
and at the same time killing his mother.
Right,
You
right,
know what I'm saying? So it's things like that that I'm seeing
right,
growing up, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, yo, I was like, all right, man, like, so for me, that was like kind of my motivation early. I was like, man, I want to make it out of this to become something so I can always come back and be like, look, man, I made it out. You can make it out too.
yeah, man, that's heavy because we have very similar stories in regards to our environment,
Mm-hmm.
and just having friends and individuals around us whose circumstances were like 10 times more detrimental than ours, and we're around that environment every day, so we have to deal with the emotional trauma from that and
Yeah.
still maintain that aura within ourselves to keep ourselves on track. So man,
Right.
I salute you for that. And also what you said about just transforming those experiences and those relationships into something that can inspire, so
Yeah.
salute that. So really quick,
Mm-hmm.
everybody, I see people are tapping there. Thank you all for joining
Yeah,
the
my
moment.
fault, man. I'm gonna just say what's up to people as they was
Yeah,
coming
man,
in.
we got the
Yeah.
man and the prince on TV, radio personality on WK. What is it?
KYS. Yeah.
WKYS. I always mix those two
Yeah.
up.
I done been on them all, man.
93.9.
I done been
You
on
know what I'm saying? You're like, no, don't do that. Yeah, I got you. 93.9. Just to be correct. Um,
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm gonna ask everybody that's on here because we got a lot that we're getting ready to go into. Please invite a friend. Hit that arrow at the bottom right hand side and invite about 10 of your friends to this conversation. We're getting ready to tap into some of Aladdin's great accomplishments. So before I go over to the next topic, I want to really like go back to like your upbringing and ask, like, like, I understand your household and your father and your parents played a very critical role in making in showing that you were, one, you took education serious, and two, you were on the right track. But
Mm.
you know, having that inside your household in an environment that is plagued by violence and you know, just sometimes negative influences, what kept you on track outside of your household? What were some of the things that kind of like made you understand at an early age that, you know, the life of crime wasn't the direction you wanted to go in?
Well, one, like I said, just kind of like the OGs, you know what I'm saying? My man Big Twin, Lil Twin, my man Butch. It was just a lot of people, man. And like I said, I always listened.
Mm.
Like it was just
Right.
crazy. I always would listen, and I would always take in that knowledge. And young, I was just like young. Like I said, me having the head, all of that. They was like, "Look, Slim, jail ain't the place for you." You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
your head too pretty. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these things. So they embedded in
Yeah.
me early. Like
Yeah.
one thing you don't want to do is go to jail. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But at the same time, they let us be us. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, of
Hmm.
course, I ain't gonna say act like I was an angel. I was out there with my friends doing hood rat shit, doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
was wilding. We
Yeah.
was I was wild, but but I did have, luckily I did have an environment where I could come home and like I used to say it's a lot of butt whoopings. You know what I'm saying? To
Right.
keep me
Right. Yeah.
lot of whoopings
Yeah.
to keep me on the
Yeah.
straight and narrow.
And
Um,
that's so important, you know,
yeah.
because it kept something in your conscience as well. You know, so that's
But
amazing.
so it was that, and the second thing was music.
Okay.
Um, so the second thing was music, and it was wild because my father used to say like when I was in the womb, he would put headphones on my mother's belly, and I
Hmm.
would, you know what I'm saying. So when I came out, everything to me was music, was a beat,
Hmm.
and so I never forget my man Ramon played me a backyard tape, and I fell in love with go-go. I mean, I was
Okay.
always in love with music. So hold on, let me rewind it a little bit. Let me rewind a little bit, right? So mind you, right, my father teaching at Howard.
Right.
I'm baby, like at this time I'm baby Howard, right? Like
Hmm.
literally, like I literally run the campus as a little youngin, because like my father, he worked in the school of business or whatever and teaching
Let's go.
calculus. So at the age of 3, I was collecting records.
Wow. Okay.
So my father would used to like at the end of the year, at the end of the semester or whatever, he would always cook for his students or whatever, and I would come in and I would play records for him. So
Hmm.
I guess you could say I was baby DJing. I was just playing I was just like, but I collected records as a kid.
Right.
So um so I'm in there playing them like Bob Marley, Buffalo Soldier, you know what I'm saying, Tina Marie, all types of stuff. So my ear for music early was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. You know what I'm saying? So I'm quote unquote hosting and DJing these parties that my father throwing for his students at Howard. So I'm running
So
around the camp. I mean, literally the whole campus know me. I'm helping students move into the dorms, all of that. So early, like I had the whole Howard experience, except for I was, you know what I'm saying? Like I was a youngin.
so let me
so
ask you this:
yeah.
what was that defining moment when you knew hosting and being on the radio and on TV was your life's
Was
path?
it? That was supposed to be it. That's when I ain't realized that until I got to Bowie.
Okay.
So when I got to Bowie State, I had walked past the radio station one day, and I remember, like I said, just the music thing, go-go. I had played in the go-go band. I played the keyboard. I taught myself how to play. Like I said, my ear was so advanced because I was listening to so much music early that I was able, like literally, I just literally taught myself hunt and peck on the keyboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I taught myself that, and then from there, um, I started learning chords, like teaching myself different things. Um, and then, you know, I got in a band, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then my skills sharpened from there. But it wasn't until I got to Bowie, like I said, I walked past the radio station one day, and it was like, I swear, it was like that moment where in the movies where you had that aha moment, and it's like you hear the ah. I
Yeah.
swear I had that moment. I walked past the radio
Wow.
station. I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I walk in the radio station. Program director at the time, her name is Shea. So Shea is like, yo, like I was like, hey, I just transferred there because I was at Morgan at first, and I was like, yo, I just got here, but always love music, always love radio because I remember growing up, my idols was Donnie Simpson, Tigger, Flex, Adimu. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it was like literally all of this is coming to me at like everything, like the dots are connecting. Like I'm like,
Right.
yo, you was doing music when you was a kid, da 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 da. You was playing
Yeah.
records, da da da. Literally, the epiphany hit me, right? So so I walk in, I talk to her, and I was like, yo, I really want to do radio. She said, all right, if you're serious, come tomorrow, and I'm gonna teach you the equipment, right?
Right.
So I was like, all right, bet. I'm there. I'm on time. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the radio station. She showed me everything. She say, all right, you start tomorrow.
Wow.
Literally, just threw me in the fire. No,
Threw you in the fire.
just like, all right, I taught you everything you need to know. You start tomorrow, and I started there, and I never looked back.
Wow. That's amazing, man. So let me ask you this. With that experience, of course you had to have that hunger, first and
Oh,
foremost,
for
when you even
sure.
walk in the building. But tell those who may be inspiring to get in that industry, like
Hmm.
like for a person who's interested in getting into your field of work, getting their foot in the door, what are some things that you would advise them to do?
Well, now the game has changed so much. You know what I'm saying? Like now that you got Instagram, all of these
Okay.
different mediums, you know what I'm saying? It's different. You got to think at radio at a point in time, it was like you had to get an internship or you had to know somebody, you know what I'm saying, to get plugged in that way. But
Mhm.
now, with podcasts, you got so many different things
Mhm.
that, people just kind of doing it on their own.
Right.
So for me to be very honest, I don't really know what's the route. I mean, I think, self promotion, kind of doing it on your own,
Right.
is kind of the wave now.
Hmm.
Uh, but when I came in, I started, you know what I'm saying? Like I was doing the joint at the radio station. Somebody that was there that was going to Bowie walked in and was like, yo, I'm at WPGC. They looking for interns. You should, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? You should apply.
So
So that's what I
that
did.
was
So
the
I
thing back
literally,
then. You had to get on
yeah,
kind of like through
yeah.
an
So
intern.
I
Okay.
got in through the internship route and
Okay.
then worked my way up. You know what I'm saying? And so, that was then. So now, I mean, I would say the best thing to do is because it is an art to it. Like a lot of people think they can do it, and with put a microphone in somebody, it's
Yeah.
more than just talking. Like
Yeah.
there is an art, there is a science to it. There's
Yeah.
a lot of intricacies that you know what I'm saying. It's theater of the minds, right? Because you got to think,
Mm-hmm.
you have to make somebody. So here's the crazy part about radio, right? You are literally, and this is what's so powerful about it, and this is why I love it so much, is
Mm-hmm.
because you are literally talking to them through a microphone. You got to think the radius is from the radius for a major station like a KYS or a PGC is you can hear my voice from here to almost Richmond, and then on the opposite end, almost to Delaware,
Wow.
and everything in between. You get what I'm
Wow.
saying? So that's how much span you covering with your voice, and you have to make it sound like I'm talking individually to one person, but you
Wow.
talking to all of these. You talking to a million plus people
Mm-hmm.
at one time. And you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the crazy thing about radio. You know what I'm saying? Like people be like, radio not relevant. Nah, radio super relevant because the span and it's in real time. So
Real time.
something can happen, and that's why I always love radio over TV because literally, you know what I'm saying, something can happen and we can have a dialogue on it in real time. With TV, you're talking through the TV, but you can't receive it, you know what I'm saying, the way that you can with radio. So
Right.
that was the magic that I always loved about radio over
Right.
TV. And when I was at Bowie, I learned both. So I had a mentor by the name of Derek Limas, who later became my older frat brother. But at the time, I didn't even know, you know what I'm saying, who he was. So I was learning the TV side, and and I remember he always told me, he's like, man, make yourself as versatile as possible, because the way this industry is, you know what I'm saying, you have to be, you gotta know everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the type of guy he was.
Right.
And so from that, I took that information. I ran. I mean, so when I was at Bowie, I learned everything as far as behind the camera, like how to shoot, how to edit, how to do this, that. I mean, I learned everything in communications, because I was like, he's right. Like, the one thing, like I said, I knew early that this is a business, right? And it's called the music business. And you got to know, you know what I'm saying? One door may close, and you gotta feed your family. So I wanted to make myself a jack of all trades and make myself as marketable as possible.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. So it's a lot of work behind what people see, basically.
Oh man, what? Oh,
Yeah.
bruh.
Yeah, they see the good part.
Yeah. Oh man.
But it's a
Oh
lot of behind the scenes work that needs to be done too, in
yeah.
order for you to be a master at your craft.
Nah, for sure. A lot of hours, a lot of tedious hours. If you know anything about editing, man, it could take you easily 2 to 3 hours just for a 2-minute clip.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so you know, like I said, so that was a blessing. And so at the time, as I'm getting into radio, right before, you know what I'm saying, this is my junior year in college, I pledged Kappa. So so the guy that was my mentor, now that I learned, you know what I'm saying, he's a Kappa, you know what I'm saying? So same chapter, whatever. So I joined Kappa. And so one of my older frat brothers is already in a promotion game. He crossed in 98, and his name is Les. And he has his own company at the time called Hypnotic Entertainment.
Okay.
So as I'm coming into the game, as far as like my internship with radio, I have an internship, because he's running like a legit business. So he's like, all right, bet you need an internship. I'm gonna bring you in as an intern. You gotta work your way in order to become a part of my staff. So I'm getting in the game from the promotion aspect, right? So he got me doing the grunt work. Like, I'm out there. I'm the one that's out there. Like, I go to the parties, but like before the party over, it's back when you had to pass out flyers. So I'm back out. Right. I'm back in the days.
I remember that.
So I'm back. So I'm out there passing out the flyers with your name on it. You know what I'm saying? You get your little $2 for everybody that come with your flyer. Woo woo woo. So I'm grinding. So like, he got me. You know what I'm saying? Doing the grunt work for Hypnotic Entertainment at the time, right? So I'm doing the flyers, hitting all the cars, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Me and my line brother Stan. So you know what I'm saying? Like, that was our thing. Like, we would hit the parties, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Do the promotion, all of that. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I'm just doing the internship at PGC, you know? So when I get to PGC, off Bucks, I already knew what I wanted, right? So so when I got there, the internship coordinator at the time was Talia Johnson. And so she was, so as soon as she was like, yeah, she's like, it's something special about you. So she was like, you know what? She's like, you know what you want, because it's different. So the thing about radio is different departments. At the time, it was it's programming, which is like the on air, like all the DJs. It's called on air. It's what is it? Promotions. It's on air promotions, sales, and at the time they had this junk called research. So if you came in, you ain't know what you want to do, they immediately throw you into research. That's when you got to do all the calls. They used to do the calls back in the day. Hey, you know, what's your favorite songs? All of that, right? Yeah. I was like, nah, I'm not. Like, I already knew. I was like, I knew where I was going. I was like, I was already on there. I was already on air, you know what I'm saying, at the college radio station. I was like, nah, I know what I'm trying to go for. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, also too, just keeping in the back of my mind, my motivation always is, you know what I'm saying, those kids in the hood that ain't got no voice. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking about my upbringings. Like, that's always been my motivation still to this day. Right. So I get there, boom, she's like, all right, I know exactly where I'm gonna put you. She puts me on the night show at the time, which was the home team, Flex and Rain. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying, Flex and Rain up with PGC. So I'm like, wow, right? So I'm in love with Go-Go. So I love Flex for the water dance. So now, right? So now it's like, hold up. I was like, young, I'm starting to work, or like this is my first person. I'm working with somebody I idolized, right?
Right.
So I'm like, damn, like, is this really happening? So at the time, right, Rain's on maternity leave. So there's a young lady that's filling in for her who is their producer, but also now, you know what I'm saying, Rain is on maternity leave, so now she's filling in, she on the show. Her name is Angie Ange.
Mm-hmm.
So Angie, you know what I'm saying, so I'm in there with Flex and Angie. So at the time, you know what I'm saying, Flex is schooling Angie, da 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 da. So Angie, Angie, you know what I'm saying, doing her thing, like, you know what I'm saying. So I'm running with them. So Angie starts training me. So, you know what I'm saying, they like, yo, what you want to do to this? So Rain comes back not too long after I get there. So at the time, right? So Angie, I remember it was like one day we was doing it, you know what I'm saying? So I started my job when I got there, right? So they was like, young, your job is like, we had the phones, right? My job was to sit at the phones, take requests.
Right.
All 4 hours. Like that's the only thing you did. You can say shit, you just
humble beginnings.
Oh man, humble nigga, you sit right there. You stay right there on the phone.
Yeah.
You get them requests. You know what I'm saying? Da, da, da.
Yeah.
So then I was like, nah. I was like, all right, this is too easy. Like I was like, all right, I want to make myself more of an asset. So I go talk to Angie. I said, all right, what do I need to do? You know what I'm saying? I just want to show like I can do more. Like I can do this. She's like, all right, that's what I want you to do. She was like, I want you to start doing show prep. Like I want you to start doing research on different topics, things to bring to the show, ideas, da 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 da, right? You know what I'm saying? And present that to them and show them like, you know, that, you know, you can do, you know what I'm saying? Like you can bring good content. Like you can add to value to the show.
Right.
So boom, I'm like, bet. So like start researching, bringing them. I mean, I'm bringing in pages of stories, like boom, boom, like crazy. So they look at me like,
this guy's ready.
yeah, right? So they was like, okay, all right. So I remember Flex looked at me and pointed, he's like, I like this guy. I was like, okay, we get somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, because for me, it was always about respect, you know what I'm saying? That was just a street code thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what you do, young, if you got the respect of the streets or you got people's respect, you know what I'm saying, that'll take you far. So so when he said that, I was like, all right, I'm moving, you know what I'm saying? So at the time, so Rain comes back, right? And the song Looking Boy comes out. And that's the song where they was joning, like you know what I'm saying? Like that's so that jump, right? So so Angie goes and she was like, young, when she saw me or whatever, at the time I had short curly hair, whatever. Her and Rain were talking, and she told Rain, she was like, young, it's like, I don't know what it is, but to me, he looked like Aladdin, right? So I ain't noticed before, right? I ain't noticed before. Right. So we in the studio one day, and if you listen to Flex and Rain, like the way they used to joan all the time. So the Looking Boy song is out. So we doing the Looking Boy. So Rain looks at me and like we joning in the air when we all you know what I'm saying, they on air. I'm just in the background, but we joning. And she look at me and she say, you old Aladdin looking boy. Young, everybody in the room is dying.
Right.
Dying, bruh. Yeah. Like we all like, and I couldn't do nothing but laugh, because the crazy part about it is one of my cousins growing up always used to tell me that. So it was wild because my mother was listening when this happened, and she texted me and she was like, that's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what you mean? Yeah. She was like, that's it. And I was like, she's like, that's your name. And I started thinking about it, right?
Who you say told you that?
Huh?
Who you say
my mother. My mother texted me. My mother texted me, said,
Mama knows.
Mom knows. She said, that's your name. That's it. She was laughing, right? But she was like, I'm laughing so hard, but she's like, that's it. So I stopped and I thought about it. I was like, Aladdin? Nah. But then I stopped, right? Because then once again, my intuition, right? So I sat on it because I was thinking, I was like, all right, when I get on air, what's my name going to be? So my real name is Daniel. Growing up, everybody, it was me, my god brother, who grew up literally next door to me. He was older than me. They called him Big Daniel. I was Little Daniel. But then they switched it up and then my name became Danny D, right? So then everybody was calling me Danny D. That was my name when I was playing in the band. So they called me DD, Danny D, whatever. And then so I was like, all right, Aladdin got two D's in it. That worked, whatever. So then I just started connecting the dots, and then also then when I pledged, my line name was Diamond D, right? So then I was like, all right, Diamond D, Danny D, all right, DD, two D's in the Latin. Then what really put it all together for me was, you know what I'm saying, I went, because I was trying to get ideas for myself, whatever. I started watching a movie. Aladdin is known as the diamond in the rough.
Right.
So it was like, that is it. Like, it literally tied all my names together and the story of my life.
Wow.
It's kind of like that dude that came from nothing, that street rat, you know what I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying? That literally, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, you know what I'm saying? Granted, he got in the palace, whatever, but he made something of himself. But, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, that is it. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of like, like I said,
crazy.
just everything.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy in that story because, you know, it's funny, but you do kind of resemble Aladdin. But speaking of resembling people, you have a twin.
I do.
You have a twin.
I do. That is my yo. Okay, you ready?
Like, you have a twin. Lloyd is your twin.
Yo, so you want to know how wild this is, right? It's Christmas, rain. So I'm learning at this time, right? I'm learning how to become a producer. So, mind you, nobody else is working at this time, right? It's the week before Christmas, and the first person that comes into the radio station to do an interview is Lloyd.
Wow.
So, right, he comes in, you know what I'm saying? This is young Lloyd, like, you know what I'm saying? What was his song? I think was You. It might have been You. He just was starting to push You.
Okay.
So he comes in, we look at each other, and we just laugh. Like, because it's crazy. Because we just look, the resemblance is so crazy. We just laugh. Because we already know. We was like, wow.
Yeah.
So we in there, right? He talking about it, but we get into this deep conversation just about his upbringings, blah, blah, blah. He from New Orleans. How he ain't know his father. So then the wild part is, so we start talking, somehow we get on the subject of zodiac signs. So he's like, yeah, I'm born in January. Like, wait, what? This is getting scary now, right? Because it's like, wait, when's your birthday? His birthday is January 9th. My birthday is January 17th.
Wow.
We are literally a week apart.
Wow.
So ever since then, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and him had a great relationship. Yeah. So he was like, I was like, young, you really might be my brother, because my father was a wild dude. My father was like, but he wasn't. That's not my. I mean, clearly we don't have the same parents, but you know what I'm saying. That was our little running joke. I was like, young, my father could be your father. You know what I'm saying? So, but so it's wild that, you know what I'm saying, Lloyd was actually one of the first people that I met at PGC, and you know what I'm saying. Like, we built a relationship, and we, like, when people be like, you look like Lloyd, and I'd be like, that's my brother, like, that's my man, like, literally I can call him right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the type of relationship that we built, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, that's the funny story about my twin.
What's up, man.
That's my twin, and that's like really my brother though. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that was crazy. So
let me ask you this. You know, so with everybody that you've met, you've hosted some of the hottest parties here in Orlando, all over the place. Who are some of, like, the mentors that inspired you on your journey? Because, you know, one of our pillars of our nonprofit organization is mentorship. So tell the people some of the mentors that inspired you, and also how important you feel that having a mentor is.
Say that last part again, my bad. How
important do you feel mentorship is? Having a mentor is?
Oh man, it's everything. It's wild. I tell people though, man, you can learn a lot from just looking, and I think that's one of the things that I did at PGC is that I studied a lot. You know, even if I ain't say nothing, I just sit
Mhm.
back and watch.
Right.
Watch the room. You know what I'm saying? I think that also too just kind of comes from
Mhm.
the mentality and the upbringing that just growing up in DC, man, you had to be very vigilant.
Right.
It was a you know what I'm saying, a pay attention.
Mhm.
The more talking you did, you know what I'm saying, like loose lips sink ships, and I learned that early. So it was just like, but mentorship is everything. Like I said, my man Derek Limas, back to the hypnotic entertainment thing. So like I said, when I got in the game,
Mhm.
I was learning the promotion aspect. So Les and Hash, you know what I'm saying, those were the heads of the company.
Right.
Um, they mentored me a lot because I didn't learn the game from a host aspect. I learned from a promoter aspect.
Mhm.
So I learned, promotions. I was learning about, they were teaching me about like getting in this club game early. So it
Right.
was like I was learning the business of it. So I was learning like when you go to these clubs and like the racism and the different things that was happening. Like, so Les was a black guy, light skin, fair skin, like about your complexion.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, did
I'm
you
brown
do a
skinned.
party? I'm saying, yeah, you brown.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
brown
know,
skinned, bro.
Charlie. I don't know, Charlie. You ja, you ja. No, but did you do parties? Oh no, I think I might have been. Hypnotic might have been done before, before you got in the game. But
I heard hypnotic before though. I heard of him.
yeah. So it was like at the time too, man. The game was, it was competitive. It was real competitive. But like I said, learning from the promoter aspect. So like learning how to like certain like people like not business owners, but club owners wouldn't take meetings with black people. So Hash was Indian.
Mhm.
So they would take the meetings with him. So
Wow.
that's how they would work the system. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying? They would send Hash to go
Wow.
and do the meetings with
Mhm.
the club owners, and they would,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, that's how we would get into a lot of these spots.
Right.
So they would teach me about the bar deals, and you know what I'm saying, how you, when you go, when you look and you find out what their books are doing, and all right, if y'all doing this, we can add this, you know what I'm saying, and getting your percentage of the bar and all of those things.
Right.
So I
Right.
learned that stuff early,
Right.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But once again, like you said, mentorship. So, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, him being my older frat brother, these a lot of like, so they had me learn on that aspect.
Mhm.
Um,
Solid.
and yeah. So, for me, it was like, damn,
And that's a great way
like
to
I
come into the
understood.
game too, like
Yeah,
understanding those dynamics, the business aspect, the real business aspect of it. Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I had to earn my stripes with
Yeah.
everything, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, man, the game, like I said, was so competitive. It was so many promoters, man. You had of course the top tier was Abdul Mark. Then under them it was Mad Power Unit.
Mhm.
After that you had and it was crazy because
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was
everybody
before
had
my.
their clicks, man. It was, yeah. So you
I
had
was in the go-go during them days.
me. So yeah. But see, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So you got to remember, right?
Yeah.
I'm in the same thing, right? So
Yeah.
I'm in the go-go. So like I've been in the go-go circuit. I've been in the go-go business. Another mentor, my manager for 3DB. So I used to play for 3DB, Third Dimension Band, and that was another thing. So it was like I've always been with people that have always taught me create your
Solid.
own.
That's
You know what
solid.
I'm saying?
Solid.
So our band at the time was the band that like so it was in our era it was UCB.
Mhm.
UCB was the top. UCB, TCB just kind of started bubbling.
Mhm.
Raw Image,
Mhm.
and then we came up under that. So we was like, it was us. It was us, Simply Marvelous. Damn, who else? CCB.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I grew up in, and the go-go, that was really competitive. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
like I grew up in
Yeah.
and learning that business and like, but I didn't understand. I didn't understand the promoter game at that point in time,
Mhm.
right? So you know what I'm saying? Like when we was doing that, it was like I was learning little things here and there, but like when I got to the club game, that's when I really started understanding the
Understand.
business of
Yeah.
how this thing moves. But at the same time, too, I kind of had a peek of that because our manager went and got our own spots. So,
Mhm.
you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like
Yeah.
his thing was he went and got the spots, but
Mhm.
our job was just to be on
Mhm.
time, things like that. But
Right.
he
Right.
was teaching us early, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like don't depend on these promoters. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Go get it your own. Go
Go get your
create
own
your
deal.
own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we had our own, and we did. We created amazing things for the culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy because before I made that switch, like everybody, I was known heavy in the go-go circuit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But when I made that switch, a lot of people didn't at the time, you know what I'm saying, like they didn't know that, you know what I'm saying, Danny D had became Aladdin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was wild how that happened. So like at the time, like I'm at the transition, I'm at Bowie, I'm still playing in the band, I'm doing my internship, you know what I'm saying? I got college, you know, I'm got a lot of things going on. So so as I'm starting to fall back from the band a little bit, you know what I'm saying, I'm moving more towards the promoter space.
Right.
So with that being said, you know what I'm saying, it was still kind of the same dynamic. So learning from them and learning how like they had to go and get their own spots. And it's because of Hypnotic, like I was able to build a lot of relationships because at the time DC was about who vouched for you, you know what I'm saying? And that was the only way you was getting in, point blank, period. Like if people wasn't vouching for you, it wasn't just like you was coming in the scene. Like
It's coming from
and like
anywhere, and just
so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once again, it was like, yo, you know, they told me like if you're going to start hosting and being the host of the party, you got to do your homework and you got to compete with, you know what I'm saying, who's in the game. So, you know, so at the time, man, I mean, I am heavy hitters. So you got Fat Cat, you got Rah Rah, Super Scotty, Crown Royal, Two Face, Angie Ainge, Rain, Flex, DJ Rico, Two Face. I mean, the list go on and on. Quicksilver, so it's Quicksilver. Also, Malik. I guess he promoted Park now. So anyway, so the collab, so like everybody kind of like had their clicks or whatever, right? So at the time, right, it was Tune, what up, boy?
Yeah, shout out to Tune, man. Thanks for joining, bro.
my young man, definitely doing this thing right now, for sure, for sure. Nah, man. So when I was coming up, I mean, DJ, I mean, the list go on. Oh, Ill Will. Oh, I gotta tell you. So, rest in peace, my man, Ill Will. So, so that was actually like my first on-air mentor, right? So Ill Will he went to Bowie, but he was doing overnights at KYS at the time. So it was Ill Will and Alizé, like that was the tag team, right? So Ill Will would do overnights, and I remember he came to Bowie one day and I was on air and I was like, yo, Ill, come jump on my show, blah, blah, blah. He loved my energy. And so it was wild because I think that's really where I got my hustle in radio. My energy was from him because Ill would leave his dorm from overnights, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., and would come jump on my college radio show. You know what I'm saying? Just to kick it with me because he loved my energy. And it was wild because I'm like, bro, like this John ain't. I mean, but that's how much he loved radio. You know what I'm saying? And Ill Will was like that grunt worker, like do anything. You know what I'm saying? But he loved radio so much that he would come and jump on my show. So I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I was honored. I'm like, yo, you on a major radio station. Why are you coming to my show? You know what I'm saying? But he's like, young, I love you. I love the energy. I love what you got going on. Woo, woo. So, you know what I'm saying? So in learning him and learning his condition, he had lupus. So, you know what I'm saying? So he was sick a lot of the times. No excuses though, right? You know what I'm saying?
There is no excuse to not be great. You know what I mean?
At all, man.
Yeah, solid. That's solid. So, you know, we got a couple more minutes, and Larry, and I do want to kind of like, you know, if there's individuals on the platform right now who do have aspirations to do, and they may be thinking about getting in your industry, may have aspirations to get in your industry, and you know they needed some tips in regards to, because I know you said study your craft. So is there any like books or individuals that you study?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a lot now. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can read about, you know, I mean, I don't know necessarily the art, but I think, you know, stories, things like that. Charlemagne the God, Angie Martinez, their books are powerful. You know, man, So crazy. I mean, technical wise, if you try and learn, you know what I'm saying, how to, I mean, now shit, YouTube is probably, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
right, yeah,
YouTube teach you everything you want to know.
right.
You know, but they're different resources, man, and you know, just tap in. It's out here, you know what I'm saying. So I mean, but learn everything. I mean, that would definitely be my suggestion, you know. And I mean, like I said, you know, just working with so many people, like my grunt work, I mean, my story crazy. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know if an hour was enough
Well,
time,
like
but
really,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, really quick.
Yeah,
I
but
know,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
man?
But I mean, it's like I said, I mean, working at
Yeah.
PGC eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
my work ethic, you know what I'm saying? It got to a point where like my name started moving around the station. So then, like I said, people that I started realizing like, yo, like the power of manifestation. So I remember saying like, yo, I remember watching Tigger, you know what I'm saying, be on radio, starting radio, get on BET, do this. And I was like, man, I remember saying I want to be the next big Tigger. Next
Right,
thing I know,
right.
Tigger come back to PGC. I become his producer.
Yeah,
Now I name moving, you know what I'm saying? Then I get to work like so. It was a point where I was like it's in demand because they was making a lot of changes in the station. Donnie Simpson heard about me. You know what I'm saying? So
So it's important to have those idols that you can try to emulate your
man,
craft.
bruh, but I
Yeah,
mean, we
definitely.
talking about legends in the game at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I'm working with legends,
Right,
like
right,
you know what I'm
right.
saying. So I'm producing the Donnie Simpson morning show and doing nights,
Mhm,
like you know what I'm saying. So you know I'm doing 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
mhm.
Go home, take a quick nap. Gotta be back at the station at
Grind is
5
real.
p.m.
The
to
grind is
produce
real.
6 to 10, just to leave to go host the club to be back at the
Right.
station at 4 a.m. You know what
So
I'm
let
saying?
me
4 or
ask you
5
this,
a.m. in the
Aladdin.
morning.
All right. So look, we got about 3 more minutes, right? So I got to get this out of you before I let you go. What is like the highlight of your career? You've been in so many spaces. What's the highlight of your career?
Ooh.
Like that one moment when you were like, man, I'm really doing some big things, man. And then after you tell us that, again, we got 3 minutes. After you tell us that, we want to end it with a couple of final words, man. Words of inspiration.
Okay. I got you. All right. God moment, I swear. Maya Angelou's having an event for a charter school. Mind you, she's been sick, right? So nobody's seen her for a minute, blah, 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 right? So she comes to the event for Maya Angelou charter schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, they got security everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And so they like no interviews, blah, 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 blah. Literally, right, they clear the room. It's only me and DJ Money there. Like
Shout
literally, they
out to
clear
DJ Money.
everybody. They
That's my
clear.
guy.
Yeah, that's my man. That's
We got
my. Yeah,
one
it's
minute and 50
damn. We
seconds,
only got
man.
no. We need to tap into the love stories. But anyway,
That's
so
my guy.
anyway, right. So it's me and Money, and I got the camera there, right.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, son, this is like my biggest idol, like one of my biggest idols ever.
Mm-hmm.
I say, I'm gonna just go for it. Mind you, security just left me and him there. I don't know why.
Right.
Yo, so I say, Dr. Angelou, do you mind if I ask you 3 questions?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, sure.
1
And I
minute and
did.
30 seconds,
I
Aladdin.
did my Maya Angelou interview. It's up on YouTube. I think that's probably my highlight. But if I say some final words, man, I mean just keep grinding. It don't happen overnight. I'm still grinding. I still don't feel like I got to the plateau that I deserve or should be at. And I'm gonna just keep working, man. And grind don't stop. You know what I'm saying? Stay positive during this pandemic.
Absolutely, man.
Stay optimistic.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother, for taking time out of your evening to join us on the Moment of Truth. Man,
Yes,
it was
sir.
solid, man. You gave out some jewels, some information that I know I didn't personally know about your craft, and I know some of our people that tapped in today didn't know. Man, thank you so much, brother.
Yes,
Keep on
sir.
grinding, stay positive, stay real, stay true to your craft, man. Love you, brother. Thanks.
Love you too, man. Always, Charlie.
All right, brother. Peace.
Yes, sir.
So there you have it, Aladdin the Prince. Thank you all for joining us tonight for the Moment of Truth. This segment is every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. We'll be right back next week. Again, thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful night. Peace.